everybody. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Alexia Stewart, or Apples, Apples, Apples. I'm running with apples, and you might notice I have a different background for my VTuber model now, with an animated background, with an animated portion of my background. I thought it would be much more fun to have it animated, something animated in the back. And this is a long form video for my YouTube channel. I haven't posted one in a long time. I've been trying to focus more on making TikToks and shorts and Instagram posts since I've had a lot of free time on my hands due to me having to leave my first job. And also sometimes I've just slipped on trying to make content due to the stress of trying to find another job. It's a long story, but let me get into what we're talking about today, which is actually a lore video about one of my original characters. She's a new original character for the My Chemical Romance album Danger Days, The True and Fabulous Lives of the Killjoys. I probably said the name wrong. I just have not had anybody to talk about my OC with, so you guys get this. We have the speed paint over at the corner, and for context of the album, it takes place in a post-apocalyptic version of 2019 in the California desert, focusing around the Fabulous Four Killjoys. We have Party Poison, Fungul, Cobra Kid, Jetstar, and Jetstar. My OC, she is a Killjoy herself. Her name is Coraline Shire, or Coraline Alice Shire. That's her full name. But she oftenly goes by the Killjoy code name Belladonna. You might not, if you know anything about plants, you might notice the name Belladonna being kind of significant with the fact that she's a nurse. Well, she's somewhat a nurse. She didn't finish nursing school. She kind of had a breakdown and went to juvenile hall at 14 years old. And then she ran away into the California desert to never be seen again from Battery City at 15. You know? That is where she met the Killjoys and Dr. Jeff Defying, who is a radio host and DJ aligned with the Killjoys. And he is somewhat of a father figure to Belladonna, making sure she does get somewhat knowledge about medical stuff so she can do her job as a nurse somewhat okay. And I do have some writings about her on my Tumblr. At Apples, 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 I'm running with apples on Tumblr. Yes, I still use Tumblr. I'm trying to get back into writing fan fictions and stuff. I took a large break from writing fan fiction a couple years ago due to some things that happened in my life. The last few years have kind of been a mess for me. Getting better, but they are getting better in some places. Hi, baby. Sorry, I got distracted by my cat. I will read some stuff off my Tumblr, which I do have a character file from Battery City about her when she was 14 years old. It lists basically her background. She attended a city ran, which, if you know anything about the Danger Day album, Battery City is ran by BLI, or Better Living Industries. So she attended a city ran, aka corporate run, girls preparatory school, where she was put in the nursing track after testing to be very highly empathetic, and she was put into a, what, quote unquote, a Candy Stripers program, which the Candy Stripers in history, like, I don't know when they exactly ended, but the Candy Stripers were usually like high school students to young women who wanted to study to become a nurse, so they would get practice by volunteering at hospitals. They wouldn't do anything medical related, but they would oftenly run food and get stuff that actual nurses needed so they could get hands-on experience of what it's like kind of being a nurse. And they were called Candy Stripers because they wore a white dress with a red and white striped apron, which looked like candy canes. So they were called Candy Stripers. But back onto my character lore. She is she was 14 when she was expelled from the girls' preparatory academy due to her having a breakdown and causing public disturbances causing a public disturbance, which Battery City is depicted as being very authoritarian. Okay, I will pet you, baby. Stop. I'm trying to make a video. You are going to go get blasted on Instagram. Sorry, my cat again. She is so spoiled. Yes, I do put her on blast on Instagram when she is being naughty and spoiled. My Instagram is apples, apples, apples. I'm running with apples. You can basically find me on any social media like that I'm on, which is Tumblr, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I am Blue Sky. I don't really have any social medias outside of that. But also on my Instagram, you will see actual real life photos of me, not just VTuber stuff. Dang, I'm getting off track. Look what you did. You distracted me. Yeah. Sorry, cat again. She's spoiled baby. So her family consisted of a mother, father, and brother. Her father, Jesse Shire, was a programmer for BLI when Battery City was established in the late 90s. She was born around 1999. Her mother was a seamstress, meaning her family necessarily wasn't the most well off, but wasn't. They were doing okay, but they weren't fully the most well off. And her brother, Max, is only like 4 years older than her. And he worked for BLI relating to science and stuff, where we got the Draculoids. He's kind of partially responsible for the Draculoids and creating them, but when he got the news that his sister was taken into juvenile holding and kind of experimented on um for a new Draculoid program where they could implement Draculoids into zones under the disguise of Killjoys, he didn't react the best to that, and he then basically stole a bunch of technology from BLI and became a traitor to Battery City. And he also lives out in the California desert, kind of as a madman slash engineer. He's also somewhat a ally to the Killjoys, but not really. He's oftenly left alone on his own, and he hasn't really seen Coraline in years. So basically, the Coraline he and his parent and their parents knew is gone due to her being half Draculatized. Uh, and her mental health problems, causing her to be a little wishy washy with her emotions. The child and innocent Coraline that she once was is no longer really there fully. And what's left is this her 20-year-old self, who is not the most emotionally stable, but she is still rock solid enough to perform medical tasks, and she does have a somewhat relationship with Party Poison. In my works, I'm gonna use they them pronouns for Party Poison, even though it is not fully canon, and it is a popular headcanon for Party Poison to use they them pronouns. So Party Poison and her have this somewhat relationship. Their relationship is mostly originally built off of the fact that she mainly sees in black and white, literally, because what happens with Draculatization, and explained by the wiki, that Draculoids only see in black and white, and they see humans as giant ticks. And she has partial Draculization going on. Try saying Draculization 10 times fast. I think I would absolutely just explode. Left her without the ability to see color, but somewhat what happened was something happened in her meeting Party Poison. For context, Party Poison has dyed bright red hair. And the only real color she can see is red. So she's kind of just obsessed with the color red. So she's a little clingy. Not full, a little clingy, yeah. So that's the original angle that drew her towards them. And Party Poison, my interpretation of Party Poison as a character, they're a little closed off, not cold to everybody. They're kind of a little closed off due to the fact of the situation that they're in, fighting a fascistic government. and everything. So they oftenly worry about losing their loved ones, which they worry about losing their loved ones and friends. So they're not the most healthy couple. She's clingy. Party, they have a lot of issues. They both have a lot of issues. And they can be wishy-washy with each other, like off and on. Like they get in a fight, they break up and everything. But they go back right to each other. It's not that they're emotionally mean to each other. It's just they I don't know how to fully put this in words. I'm probably not even using the right words for this. But they do care about each other. Also, she does outside of their relationship. So the Killjoys are named after the ray guns, which are a kind of blaster, laser blaster. Each Killjoy has one, except for her. She is not trusted with one after she shot Fungul in the butt on accident. So she carries around a long metal stick, which honestly I think she can do more damage with than a ray gun. But one of her favorite types of wounds to have to deal with are ray gun wounds, due to the fact that, in my opinion, a ray gun would probably, since it's like a plasma laser, cauterize the wound around it, which means it's less trouble for her to deal with. I might have to make a part 2 when I get some solid lore plotted out. My name's Alexia Stewart, or Apples, Apples, Apples. I'm running Apples. Please like and subscribe. I am at 122 subscribers, and my goal is to eventually reach 500 subscribers. And then I'll draw Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen when I get there. Thank you so much. And I hope you have a great day. I love you. Mwah.